So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So, Uta dropped today, and as you probably know, I did pull her, and yeah, we had no idea what she did before today, and now I had the time to try her out in some content. That video will go up later today. But now I just wanted to talk about my initial impressions of Uta and how to best use her. So let's start talking about her classes, captain ability, special ability, superclass, final tap, and she has an interesting support as well. So Uta is int cerebral striker, and yeah, I like all of those choices to be honest. Been a while since we had an int legend. The whole batch is int really, and the cool thing with Uta is that she really helps continue lifting up cerebral and striker. I feel like both those classes have been getting better recently, and especially striker has got really better. Like cerebral, striker together with free spirit and driven are probably the top 4 classes right now. Only real contender is probably like powerhouse, since they've also got a lot new toys. So yeah, it's nice to see them get even better and to really push you to use them, because it ends up letting you use units you maybe not usually use. But yeah, let's look at Uta's captain ability. She gets -4 CD to herself. In cerebral striker, 5.25 times attack, 1.3 times HP, and she resists paralysis and special reverse by 10 turns. So yeah, good mix of good numbers as well as very good utility, really resisting 2 common debuffs. So yeah, just by resisting those debuffs, Uta will be relevant going forward. But yeah, it's always interesting with these seed reduction abilities, but I'd much rather like the -2 CD to the crew than this. Like sure, it's very realistic to make it so you can use Uta stage 3, for example, fairly reasonably, but it does really help if you can use Uta stage 3 if you have to stall a lot for the other specials on the team. So yeah, not the biggest fan of that. Another thing with the 4-turn CD is that like it's only for herself, so even if the other Uta is also -4 CD, like it's not like it stacks with each other. So in reality, it's like if both did the -2 CD to the crew. So yeah, not a big fan of that, but better than nothing, I guess. What really makes Uta shine though is this special. This is the first special in a while where I read it and I was like, what does this mean? I didn't understand. I had to try her, and once you try her, it's very obvious how it works, and it's super strong, amazing special. Basically, the way it works is when you use her special, you get an attack and or boost for cerebral and strikers, 2.5 times attack, 2 times or boost. And when you use this special, you get an unique buff for Uta. It's like a little note. And basically, it has a 2-turn timer, but it's not like a normal 2-turn timer that decreases with like when you go to new stage and such. But no, it only decreases at the start of every turn. So basically, you are guaranteed to get 3 stages of attack and or boost, which is absolutely insane. There's like nothing like this. Like the closest to this is like Roger Whitebeard swap, but the numbers are just a lot lower than this. And of course, the difference is that with Roger Whitebeard swap, here you use a special. And as you see, it does get stronger as time goes as well. So the idea is that for the strongest buff, the 3 times attack and 2.5 times or boost, you set that up for the final stage. So basically in arena content, for example, you use it as special stage 3, and you got an attack and or boost for stage 3, 4, and 5, and it gets stronger and stronger. Very cool. Another very nice point of Uta is that if the enemy removes this before you've been able to get all the buffs, you get a guaranteed buff when it is removed. You get the 2.5 times attack and 2 times or boost, and this really is maybe even the best thing about her, because this makes her super consistent to be used. She also has some additional effects. So basically she's set up so you can use double Uta and get some benefit from it. So if you already have Uta's unique buff from using her special, you get full board of int orbs, you lock them for 2 turns, and you get a good chain boost for 3 turns. And I'm a bit iffy about this, especially since you change slots to int, but Uta doesn't make int matching. So if you run a different color team, you need to bring some other unit to make int matching, for example. It's not the greatest in that aspect. She'll probably added that at least for 1 turn make int matching, in my opinion. But locking them is nice, and getting a chain boost is nice. So basically use Uta stage 3, and then probably stage 4, maybe stage 5, you use the other Uta to get the other bonus effects. Super strong special will probably never really get bad, and can be very good as a sub as well, not just as a captain. One cool thing with this special is basically that in terms of like team building, you'd be thinking more about like covering all the different debuffs rather than like trying to puzzle together like I want to remove paralysis and I use this special that also gives an ore boost, and you puzzle it like that. Here is more like Uta handles all the damage and the other units on the team handles the debuffs. And maybe some other buffs Uta doesn't do, like maybe color affinity, some conditional stuff like that. The biggest disappointment of Uta is definitely her super class. The good thing is that the requirement is fairly straightforward. You need an attack and ore boost. The issue is the fact that, like, let's say you use Uta stage 3, you get her superclass requirement met, you can use the superclass. This means that you get 3 turns of the plus buff, like V2 Odin, for example. So when you move on to stage 4, it will be buffed, but then it's just 1 turn left of the buff icon. So if you use the second superclass of the other Uta on stage 4, it's still 1 turn left, so you don't get anything for stage 5. So basically this means that in most cases, double Uta, only 1 superclass special will be actually usable unless you stall on 1 stage. And yeah, I don't really like the design about that, but it's a bit iffy because like it's just how the plus buff works. Like if it was 2 turns, there will still be issues because like it wouldn't work to move over. So it kind of have to be 3 turns, but at the same time, you don't really get like the full benefit of using double Uta. But in general, I'd say that double Uta is not like optimal anyway, so not the biggest deal, but yeah. It also gives some healing, which is pretty nice. Add some utility to it. Uta's final tap. It's basically like Yamato, but has a more easier requirement. You just need 2 more cerebrals on the crew. And you get a bit bigger chain buff than Yamato gets, but you don't get 1 orb, so it evens out basically. Yeah, pretty boring. I feel like they should make final taps a bit more powerful, since Super Tandem already is a lot better than final taps, so there's no reason to make final taps like this, in my opinion. Let's talk a bit about the support finally. Like, can be put on any in cerebral, and we use a special, get 1.5 times attack and ore boost. So basically, whenever you want, you can get a Roger and Whitebeard swap, and if you've used Roger and Whitebeard, you know that most of the time that does the job. So yeah, more options for cerebral, and cerebral already has a lot of options like this to add extra damage. So yeah, cerebral is basically the king now of damage buff support, basically, to add more damage. Sailors, pretty good. Inside matching for cerebral, and 1.1 times HP for cerebral. Yeah, not bad, nothing amazing. So basically, I already hinted at it, but I think the biggest use for Uta is in hybrid comps, mostly because adding a second Uta, her special doesn't really do that much stuff. Like, it's not bad to have 2 Uta, but the main thing she does, the 3 stages of attack boost and ore boost, you can get with 1 Uta. And you can add another unit to give some extra to it. And I picked out 10 units you can hybrid with Uta. First we have Yamato, and this can be 6-star as well. Might even be better because you get the int super type for Uta as well. But with this combo, you both get a bit of more CD reduction, but you also get the bind resistance. You resist 3 debuffs, and you also get access to 1 orbs. So there's a lot of good stuff with this combination, as well as the increased damage taken you can get. So you'd build a striker team with that basically. If you run Vivi, you'd build a cerebral focus team, and obviously with Vivi, you get the special bind resist, which is very useful. And you also have the orb manip, which is very nice. It's basically what the second Uta will be doing. And in general, like having both special reverse and special bind resist on a team is really nice. We have Law if you want to go a bit more mono int. And basically here we do get the spear resistance, both resisting the spear and paralysis, very nice. Sadly, the special is basically useless with Uta, unless you need the resilience for something to survive a death hit or something. Sabo Ace, very nice as well. With this combo, you can actually resist 4 debuffs. We're talking the spear, special bind, paralysis, special reverse. Like, that's pretty insane to resist all of that, really. And yeah, at least with the support, you can get some orb manip. You can remove some debuffs as well. And with the swap, you can also add some color affinity, which Uta doesn't cover either. So pretty solid combo. And they also added Shang's crew. Like, in the future, they will get level limit break and get better captain ability. But at least you get some extra matching orbs. You get the special bind reduction as well. You have the end of turn damage. And you get the 3 turns of chain lock, which is also... It's still very much viable. It's just the numbers holding them back. Finally, I put some more fun options here, but let's start with a viable one, very viable one. Yamato Ace, of course, pretty similar to Sabo Ace, it's just that they resist bind and special binds, so you add that together with paralysis and special reverse. They also, with the swap, give the chain boundary, which is obviously very good. We also had the potential of burn conditional to add a conditional. But yeah, other than that, Uta covers the attack boost, basically. So not really that needed. I added 2 more utility focus units. Here we have the level limit break Korra. And basically with Uta, as said, she covers like everything in terms of damage. So you can run more utility focus captains together with her. So with level limit break Korra, you resist some paralysis and attack down in the captain, and you remove a lot of debuffs with actual special, as well as giving orb manip. So it's a pretty interesting option, I'd say. I think Namu Usopp is pretty funny too, because let's say with Uta, if you use her special stage 4 instead of 3, kill stage 4, you can probably do it even with Nami and Usopp in single form. Then you move on to stage 5. You just do some damage there with attack and orb boost from Uta. This will proc the guaranteed delay from Nami Usopp. And then you can use Nami Usopp special to get the color affinity. You can get the guaranteed delay conditional through full immunity. And you have the attack and orb boost from Uta left, and it's maxed out. Just some fun little combo. Like in general, I don't think Nami Usopp is the most well-designed unit, but that's a potential fun meme that is possible to do. Finally, I put 2 speedrun captains here. Kid is very interesting because Kid is -3 CD. So if you combine that with Uta as the other friend captain, if you put like the wife support on Uta, or if you limit break expand Uta, her special will be ready stage 3 without stalling as long as you run a speedrun ship, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, Kid maybe doesn't help the most with his special after that. Like, you can get the orb manip, You can get the chain buff, but you don't really get the attack or boost from Kid. But still a pretty cool option. And finally we have Kaido. And of course we get the -2 CD. We get the end of turn damage to make it chill. And sadly the numbers don't quite work out unless you Limbrick expand Uta. Like if you Limbrick expand Uta and give her the wives, she will be ready stage 3 to use a special. But I do think this might be a potential combo for like some chill farm. Like you don't have to tap maybe that much, and Uta can do most of the work. So yeah, that's just 10 potential units to use. Later today, I will be putting up some double Uta teams, and then I'm going to start working on some hybrid comms. I look forward to that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.